Joining us, Mr. Peter Ame, to take a look at some of the major stories in the news. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Good morning.
So let's start off with where we stopped with Mr. Samson Itodo. When he said it's a state, it was an attempt to capture the state, you were nodding, you agreed very much while you were sitting down here. What are your thoughts on this election? Was this a state capture?
It's not an attempt. The state had been captured, because if you look at even the decision of the president, leading up to this local government election, it is a struggle about how many states can I control. That's been the struggle. You're not just talking about perception. You're talking about reality, what we can see. Section 305 that gives, the power of the president to call for state of emergency never gave him any other power to remove the governor and the state house of assembly. And the case is before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has refused to hear the case, waiting for the 6 months to elapse, so that, because if they take on the case and they take decision in favor of the people, it will affect the interest of the president. And if they take decision in favor of the president, it will damage our constitution. So they have decided to abstain and then allow this illegality, this unconstitutionality, this authoritarian, application of instrument that is not known to democracy to prevail. Because it's clear that the governor enjoys immunity under Section 308. So why are you doing all this? How can an elected president? We are running a federating unit. The federating federation is when you have more than 3, level of government. So you have a situation where the federating unit that has autonomous control, that has its own election, is being undermined by the president, who was also elected. So it is clear that it is a state capture, but it is undermining our democratic process. It is insulting to our collective sensibility and our reasoning to see that we sit down and people talk about, the state of emergency can be lifted now. Local government election have been conducted. People have. Do you know how bad this decision, this obvious robbery looks like? That the governor lost his local government and the local government election. It's a local government where the governor comes from. He has an assembly there. He has himself as governor. See, look, when we're trying to do something, we should do something so that posterity will judge us right.
There are ripples and rumors that, well, the next phase is for Fubara to decamp to the APC. Do you think that's going to happen next?
For me, I'm already disappointed in Fubara that he has shown, that what he wants is to get back to office. I think he would have given it all, and even if in the process and he decided any loss come to him, I think it would have been bad to fight for the future generation. I think he was beaten to surrender, and that is not good for our democracy, because all state instrumentality of the state was deployed against him, and he surrendered, and that's not good, because some of us spoke out. I've never met him, I've never spoken to him, there's no connection. I just feel that it's necessary that this democracy that we have gotten, whether it's a semi-democratic process, we must be able to nurture it to become fully blown democratic system, so that we will have a democracy that young generations and future generations will be able to go freely to the polls and get themselves elected, or vote for somebody that they truly believe in.
You're still National Secretary of the CUPP.
Yes, of course.
What party do you belong to now?
I've always been in Labour Party.
So you're still in Labour, you didn't go to the ADC?
No, I didn't go to the ADC.
All right, so let's talk about the representation of political parties in the Rivers local government elections. Did we see that happen, or was this just...
Look, I've been national champion of two times each for position. I can tell you that it was just trying to that there was election. Any other parties that come to participate, it's just participate. I don't think there's local government election in Nigeria. Local government election, local government is captured in Section 7, subsection 1, where CX are supposed to be in charge of conducting local government election. And that's why we always ask people, when you ask people how many election management body we have, they say, oh, INEC. No, INEC is just for federal elections. We have 37. Including each state has one. So you need to have a situation where you know that the CX are undemocratic institution. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in conducting credible elections to represent the interests of the people. They only believe in towing the line and interest of those who control them at a particular time. That's why you find out a military retired general who was not elected by the River State people is conducting local government election.
Is this an aberration? Is this a precursor to what we're going to see in 2027?
No, federal elections are different. Local government has only had these issues. Long before.
We've been hearing this before, but no. It's been a recurring situation where if you see where many states have had governors who decamped, and we see the ruling party taking over, it's most likely that when the federal elections happen, we're going to see a repeat of that.
No, people are not learning from history. They're not looking at our election, trajectory. If you look at 2011, how Jonathan won, you see that there are places they had already lost governors that he won. At 2011, how Jonathan won, you see that there are places they had already lost governors that he won. And if you look at 2015 when Buhari won, you look at how many governors did the APC brought to the election. How many governors did they have? They didn't have enough governors to cover 36 states. And so you have a situation that we need to sit down, analyze the process properly, and see that the people now decide the outcome of our election. 2023 is just, you can see it is an obvious example that Peter Obi came into the election about 6 months to the election, and the people decided that they wanted a new life, a new way of determining their own future, and you saw the result. Yes, 6-point-something million was recorded. We know that is not the true sense of it, because people tell you, oh, that is public available data. IRF2 is a public available data.
Well,
so
there's also the situation
on data that is available.
There's also the question about your political party and how you're putting yourselves together in preparation for 2027. We don't know who your presidential candidate is going to be yet, even though some people say it might be too early to be able to have that discussion. But we do have feelers that your principal, Peter Obi, is being reached out to by other political parties. We're also hearing, in fact, we even saw a response from Mr. Keyamo, I think, over the weekend, where he was, speaking up about the concept of a Jonathan and Obi ticket, and saying these are not exactly a good idea for the country right now. What do you make of all of this? Where should your principal be the presidential candidate of the Labour Party? Should he stay in the ADC? Should he listen to the PDP? What is going on
a lot of people,
with your party?
A lot of people want to be in the shoe of Peter Obi today.
He's the most courted bride.
Yes, a lot of people want to be in his shoe. He's the biggest political commodity as I speak to you today. Everybody is speaking to him. Everybody wants him to be in their cover. Sometimes some people want him for selfish reasons, so that maybe if he joined their coalition, they will now decide to defeat him collectively from the back door, so that they will now use him. But at the end of the day, the people are the one that will determine an election. And I know advice is getting, he will make use of them, so that maybe not for his interest. If it's for election, Peter Obi doesn't have those kind of attitude of going to buy vote and give money. People come to TV and say, oh, he offered us money. It's the last thing he would do. He could offer you business. I know, I've been with him. He could tell you that, what business are you doing? I want to support you with advice and support you with connection. But this is what he can do. But to say he offer you money, I think a lot of Nigerians know that is not true. So you go to the 2023, you talk about precursor. It's not a precursor. This is not you can't use any of the by-elections. I'm of the opinion that our by-election should be abolished, that we should have a replacement by a political party when a person who was elected on their platform dies. The political party should replace, because in the cases of Amechi versus Omeha, by the Supreme Court, it has said that the ticket belongs to the party. There's no by-election that is not overwhelmingly oppressed by those in power, who are in governor, who bring out all their resources, who bring out them into trying to prove their point. But when it comes to election, and when it comes to the time for people to determine that vote, the presidential candidates will be on the ballot. So it will be a different ball game. People will vote on basis of what the president, those who are promised, who are in government, what have they done? Those who are making promises, what is their history? So voting will come along that line. I don't think anybody should panic about 2027. I don't think people should panic about political parties. But because at the end of the day, these issues are normal issues within political parties. I've been party manager myself. Yeah. There are always fractions. But at the end of the day, this will be resolved before the election and primaries.
All right, let's move away from politics for a little bit and see if we can look at some of the issues. Of course, this particular situation about the Dangote truck accident and the young lady who has now died as a result of this. So we're seeing statements from everywhere. Dangote's office has released a statement. What should happen going forward? Because this is one death too many, considering this particular business and how popular this business is and the responsibility on the man who runs this business.
The man is contributing to our economic development. There's no doubt about that. But you need to come to the place of government. Our roads motorable. You have roads in these areas that this accident are occurring. If we have double 6-lane road, highway, running through the federal highways within the state and the federation, then we'll have a very good passage for these trailers to pass. Government is not concentrating policy towards the direction of trying to build a pathway for this truck, because we don't have train line that will transport this cargo around the country. So government more need to put infrastructure in place to be able to provide even private business, because these private businesses are creating jobs. They're also helping to expand their economy. So it's key that government put more investment in this process in trying to also save life. Then you look at the second area. Accidents do occur. I'm sorry for those who have lost their life. It's really sad in this very circumstance. So what we say is that if government has invested properly in our healthcare sector, like say we have federal medical centers across Nigeria or national hospitals across Nigeria that are well equipped, we won't be talking about flying this young lady abroad and trying to get her visa, trying to process documents in the process of 21 days. It is going to be difficult for her. We need to be able to equip our own system that will be able to take such emergencies and then treat it adequately, and have doctors that are well trained, doctors that are well paid to take this issue. So, and Dangote also must look for another alternative. Probably taking some of these drivers to international driving schools, or maybe police driving schools, police driving college in Enugu, so that they can get proper driving skills, because this driver sees small cars on the road like ant or obstacle that they can just crush. Oh, yeah. That is their perception, that is their reasoning, and which is not good for our collective survival. So we need to be able to have well-trained drivers on the road, and that is the work of where road safety will come in to mandate that this training is done, especially for the Dangote truck drivers. So we need to have this done. But for the young lady, it is sad that this had happened, and we should do everything possible that I have online here, so that we can, stop the recurrence of such situations.
I mean, our condolences really with the Otabo family. Her name is Ruth Otabo. Yeah. So sad that this happened. May her soul rest in peace. All right, let's move on now to the passport fee hike. Your principal was being criticized for speaking up against this fee hike. In fact, someone asked him, does he think that you update passport every month? Why is he complaining about the money? And your principal, Mr. Peter Obi's point on this was the fact that, look, the passport costs more than people's minimum wage. It costs more than minimum wage to get your passport right now. Talk to us a little bit about this fee hike, because a lot of people have been condemning it since it happened.
I've looked at, somebody said that, does he think they renew passport
monthly? Yeah.
But they don't understand. When a man earns 70,000 as minimum wage, or 100, let's just even give it 100,000 naira. Is he going to, even if he's going to do passport by December, he's going to have to save maybe 10,000 naira from that money. There are too many what they call it, increase in a lot of tariffs already since this government came into office. How is he going to have the capacity to be able to save such money while it takes care of his school fees of his children, while it takes pay for band A and band B, why you also look at the inflation at the core, 80 of subsidy. These are economic reforms. You have to think of the people. You have to think of the ordinary people on the street. When emergency come, in a normal country, normal society, why people think like this, that when they work for 5 years, 10 years, they don't go on vacation. So, but in a normal society, in fact, it is even compulsory for the ministry to ask you, when are you traveling? You need to take some rest, So you are now asking that Nigerians who want to travel to a place like Ghana and Co. or any other African country cannot have passport. The arbitrary increase in this passport fare is unfair. It is not this is not the appropriate time, and this is not actually going to help the economy to grow, because taxation have never, extreme taxation has never grown any country. Just continue to earn money from a society that is not, productive in itself. It will continue to drive the available resources in the pocket of every citizen.
Another story that came up over the weekend, and this one has to do with the NDLEA and the war on drugs. It's somewhere in Plateau State, in Mangu local government. I think it was 3 or 4 acres of a marijuana farm that was busted by the NDLEA. And the question that I see people asking online, and I'm asking it as well, how did the farm start? Who is the local government chairman of this place? How do you have 3 to 4 acres of marijuana growing in a place like in a local government area in this country where you know that this is illegal? How did this happen? Kudos really to the NDLEA for busting that place and bringing the story to light. But it does talk to us a little bit about governance at local levels. Who is the local government chairman of Mangu in Mangu? and the places where all of this, there's governance, there's lawmakers, there are all these people there. How did this happen under everybody's watch?
People are making a lot. We don't have local government chairman in Nigeria. They are only just, how they call it, area boys to the governors. They don't sincerely. We don't have to.
Even so, how can a blatant crime be happening in front of you?
They are not doing anything. They are not interested. All they want is for the governor to be able to give them that little money. They will pay salary and they keep their own share. So they are not doing anything. Before, if you look at 1999 to 2003, local government in Nigeria were building roads. They were building markets. There's nothing like that such going on in any local government, except for maybe in some places like a FCT. An FCT, if you look at the constitution, it's not defined as a local government. It's an area council, and they have direct line charge of their money coming from the federation account. So we have a challenge. And even despite the Supreme Court judgment that local government should get their financial autonomy, the president has refused and the Attorney General have refused to implement it for their own selfish reason, for the fact that they are negotiating with state governors on what to be done on a judgment that's been given by the highest court of the land. So this is what weakens the fabric of our democratic engagement. It weakens it so deeply that people manipulate the process for their own interest. Sometimes, maybe you find out that the person who was reporting this in Plateau State before was actually, maybe he has been changed by the farmer, and then report comes. We need to have a proper security measure in place to be able to look at this. And even if we have to now look at the economic value of seeing what we can do, probably export some of these things and then make money from it. We need to also look into it. We can't continue to burn everything and then we're not saying people should take drugs. No, there's also economic value to some of these products. Can we look at that angle and export it, and for those who can make use of it? Because we can't continue to dive in one direction and hoping that our fortunes will change. There are opportunities in this area too that government should also take a look at and utilize it for the benefit of our people.
I want to thank you very much, Mr. Peter Ame, for being with us this morning and sharing your thoughts on some of these views. I'm looking forward to 2027 because I don't know what is going to happen with your party. I don't know what's going to happen in the Labour Party. I don't know if Peter Obi is going to be your candidate. No one knows what's going to happen in the next few years, but we do hope that all things work out. Do you want to give your assurances to the Nigerian people that the Labour Party will have its house in order in time for the elections? What I want to
tell people is that Peter Obi will get this right. He's going to get it right.
Whether with Labour or not.
He's going to get it right.
He will get it right.
He will get it right for the good of our people. It's not about trying to be in office. It's about trying to get into office with a plan and make sure these plans are executed. And anybody who tells you that 4 years is not enough, these are people who feel entitled to 8 years. Because Section 132, Section 2 is clearly states that you will be elected for a period of 4 years. And you will vacate the seat if you don't put yourself forward for another election. When people go to do business inside room and say, I will do just 4 years, it's different from when people come to national television to say they will do 4 years.
El-Rufai says we shouldn't believe people who say they are going to do it.
El-Rufai is using his own political judgment to judge others. There are people who are very credible and driven by integrity and who believe that only what they want to leave behind as a legacy is that people remember them for saying what they promise. And
Mr. Peter Ame, National Secretary of CUPP, thank you again for being with us on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much.